What if I told you, the most ordinary people can become legends in the most unexpected ways? This isn't just another story. These are tales of courage, revenge, genius, and justice, real people, real moments, and shocking twists that will leave you speechless. On this channel, we uncover the stories the world tried to overlook, and shine a light on those who refuse to stay silent. Whether it's a janitor who outsmarts billionaires or a courtroom flipped upside down by one unexpected move, these stories will make your heart race and your mind think. Backhand index pointing right. So if you love true underdog moments, insane plot twists, and real-life legends, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss what's coming next. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see everything. Section 1. The courtroom erupts in laughter, but not for long. Wait, the Michael Jordan? In court? The entire courtroom fell into a stunned silence, followed by muffled giggles. The name Michael Jordan echoed like a joke in the halls of justice. But this wasn't the basketball legend, this was a completely different Michael Jordan, a young man from Chicago who had just stunned everyone by choosing to represent himself in a major lawsuit against a powerful corporation. The judge raised an eyebrow. "Mr. Jordan, are you sure you want to go through with this, without a lawyer?" Michael stood tall and replied calmly, "Yes, Your Honor. I know exactly what I'm doing." The judge chuckled. The lawyers on the other side smirked. A man in a cheap suit versus a billion-dollar legal team? This wasn't just going to be a case, it was going to be a slaughter. But no one knew what was coming next. From janitor to legal warrior, Michael Jordan wasn't a celebrity. He wasn't rich. In fact, he was a janitor at a local community center. But he had a powerful weapon, knowledge. For months, Michael had been quietly studying law at night, reading every book, watching court hearings, even visiting courthouses on his off days just to learn how it all worked. Why? Because the company he was suing had caused a fire at his workplace due to faulty wiring, something he had reported multiple times but was ignored. That fire not only cost him his job, it nearly cost a young child their life. Lawyers told him he had no chance. They told him to take a small settlement and walk away. But Michael refused. He believed in something more powerful than money. Justice. The judge can't believe what he's hearing. On the first day of the trial, the defense lawyers swaggered in with confidence, throwing around legal jargon and thick binders. Michael, meanwhile, stood with a worn-out folder, a few printed documents, and handwritten notes. Then it was his turn. He began calmly, "Your Honor, members of the court, I may not wear a fancy suit, but I do come here with something powerful, the truth." Michael's opening statement stunned the room. He spoke clearly, cited real cases, and even corrected the opposing lawyers on a legal technicality that left them speechless. The judge blinked in surprise. "Mr. Jordan, where did you learn that?" Michael smiled. "At the library. And from watching 100 court hearings on YouTube." The courtroom, which once laughed at him, now sat in stunned silence. Turning the tables in court. As the trial went on, Michael dismantled the corporation's case piece by piece. He brought in surprise witnesses, former employees who had been fired for raising safety concerns. He submitted photos, emails, and internal memos that showed the company knew about the fire hazard and ignored it. At one point, the defense lawyer tried to dismiss Michael's evidence as irrelevant. But Michael calmly pulled out a legal precedent that proved his documents were not only relevant, they were crucial. The judge leaned forward. "Mr. Jordan, are you sure you've never been to law school?" Michael chuckled. "No, Your Honor. But I've been to the school of hard knocks." By the end of the trial, the jury didn't just admire Michael, they believed him. They saw a man who stood alone but never backed down. A man who didn't need $1 million lawyer to speak the truth. The verdict that shook the courtroom. After just 4 hours of deliberation, the jury returned. We find in favor of the plaintiff. Mr. Michael Jordan. Gasps filled the courtroom. The billion-dollar corporation had just been defeated by a janitor with no legal training, only determination and courage. The judge stood and addressed Michael directly. Mr. Jordan, I laughed when you said you'd represent yourself. I won't make that mistake again. You've not only won your case, you've reminded us all what justice really means. Michael's eyes welled with tears. He didn't just win money, he won respect. And more importantly, he proved that no one is too small to stand up for what's right. As he walked out of that courtroom, reporters swarmed him, cameras flashed, and people shouted his name. For once, the name Michael Jordan wasn't just about basketball. It was about bravery, brains, and believing in yourself, even when the world laughs at you.